Howdy, bon dia, and welcome to the first episode of Tristan Take Video for 2022. This is actually Season 2, Episode 0. It's currently the start of January, and I'm out for a little walk in Girona. And I thought what I'd do today is something that I haven't actually done before. Today I'm doing a non-cycling vlog, where before I launch into my Season 2 vlogs, is actually do a bit of a reflection on 2021 and talk about some of the things that I learnt and some of the things that I loved. And then I'm gonna launch into the 2022 vlogs starting from tomorrow. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So, lesson number 1 is this. You can completely change your life in 12 months if you want to. At the start of 2021, I was up in Andorra, I was having a great time, and I had a lot of what I would consider to be stability. I was happy, I was definitely happy, but I really wanted to make some dramatic changes in my life to put me on a path to more of where I wanted to be. For me, happiness is about freedom. I wanted ultimate freedom. Ultimate freedom to me is getting to wake up and decide exactly what I want to do each and every day of the year and how I'm going to make that happen. So I decided through the course of 2021 that I was going to go back to working for myself, and I decided that it was time to take my life into my own hands and make some decisions that were going to put me on the path to where I wanted to be. So although 12 months later I'm still living in Girona and I am still doing the same thing, which is riding my bike a lot, I am in a vastly different position to what I was in 12 months ago, and I can honestly say I am much, much happier. So lesson number 2 is this. In order to get to where you want to be, you first have to decide that you're not going to stay where you are. Back in 2014, I went to a photography workshop with a famous wedding photographer who has always been one of my sort of photography idols, a guy named Jonas Peterson. And one of the things he taught us was that in order to get anywhere, the best way to get there is to just start. You don't need to know the final position that you're going to be in. You don't need to have everything mapped out. But the best way to get somewhere is to literally stand up and put one foot in front of the other. And you'll begin your journey on the way to where you want to be. So over the course of 2021, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I didn't really know where I was going to end up. But one thing I can say is that by getting up and putting one foot in front of the other, I really began to realize that I was going to start heading in a direction. And that's all I really needed to do. So lesson number 3 that I learned is this. No one really knows what they're doing. No one really actually has any idea of what the purpose of life is. And everyone's just out there doing their best. Everyone is out there trying as hard as they can, trying to make things work, trying to make themselves happy, trying to feed their family. Everyone has good intentions at heart, or most people anyway. So it's important to give people some slack. So this leads me into my next point. If you don't make time to slow down, time will never slow down for you. There is always more that you can be doing. There's always additional work that you can chase up on. There are always more people that you can see. There are always more bike rides that you can do. Sometimes it's worth dropping a couple of balls so that you can keep the most important ones up in the air. So my next point, and this one is a bit of a personal one, is this. The best antidote for anger is time. Over the past 12 months, I have made some mistakes and I've learnt a lot of things. One thing that I can say that's an ongoing journey, but that I'm really learning, is that in order to overcome feelings of anger, you need to give yourself time. I don't think there is a perfect end destination or goal. However, I have definitely learnt through 2021 that when feelings of anger arise, the best way to deal with them is to just stop and think. Consider the seriousness and the importance of the reason why you're getting upset, and to be able to move on, move forward, and not respond in a way that you might regret later. So my next point is this. Nothing is forever. And that's okay. One thing that I've learned over time is that if something is forever, it becomes boring. The point of life is not that we do the same thing forever and then we die. The point of life is that we should experience a whole different range of things. to use an analogy, I love Girona. I love living here, I love my life here, and I'm not planning on leaving just yet. However, I do recognize that part of the importance of Girona to me stems from the fact that I know it won't be forever. My life here is great, and I get to do exactly what I want to do in this moment, which is ride my bike a lot, take photos, and make videos. However, if I thought that was going to be for the rest of my life, I probably wouldn't be enjoying it. Once you know something is locked in forever, you become bored of it. Over the past 12 months, I've learned that I need progression, I need change, I need things to be mixed up in order to really enjoy them. Because only by recognizing the fact that nothing is forever, are you able to appreciate the transience of everything that you go through. Okay, so that last point leads me into my next point, which is this. It's really important to appreciate what you have. If you're watching this on a computer, on a phone, or you're watching this on a TV, you have more than a majority of the world has. I'm in an incredibly privileged position where I get to make videos about a life that I love, but most people don't have this opportunity. For me, one of the strongest feelings I felt through 2021 was that of appreciation. I recognize the position I'm in, I recognize the freedom I have, and I recognize the value of the life that I get to live. And I really want to make sure I put out there how much I appreciate the privileged position that I'm in, and to have you guys watching helping me build the life that I want to live. And that all leads me up to my final point of this video, and the final thing that I learnt, amongst many others, but that I want to highlight for 2021, is that progress is the biggest motivator. Over the course of 2021, I learnt a lot. I learnt a lot about cycling, I learnt a lot about myself, and I learnt a lot about pursuing this YouTube journey. Now, anyone who's watching this, you're obviously sitting on the internet watching this person that you probably don't know in real life. But one thing I want to say to you wholeheartedly is thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for taking the time to get all the way through this video to here, and to get all the way through every video I've made to the end if you've done that. Thanks for subscribing, thanks for liking the videos. If you've come on board on Patreon, thank you for doing that. It's all led to a massive feeling of progression in my life, which is what I get the most out of, whether that be in training, in racing, or in making videos, or in pursuing some other pursuit. I found that the feeling of progression has been massively motivating. So that leads me into saying you might notice a couple of small changes to my channel for 2022. I wanted that feeling of progression to keep going, so I've made a few tweaks. You can now whack 2160 on down the bottom if you want to watch these videos in 4K, and you might notice a couple of other subtle changes there as well along the way. In a couple of days, I'm heading off to Portugal. I have a big photo shoot with a professional cycling team, which I'm going to make a video about. On top of that, I've got a couple of big announcements coming at the end of January as well, so stick tight for those. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe, and if you would like to like this video, I'd really appreciate it. It does great things for the YouTube algorithm. You might also see some video content in future that you really enjoy watching. So with all that being said, these are all the things that I've learned in 2021, and I hope to take forward on my journey into 2022. Stay tuned because there's plenty more cycling content to come, starting with the next video, which is going to be released tomorrow. I'll chat to you guys soon. All right, deal.